positive way. Drawing, painting, and enjoying every day. It all begins with life, with art.
Hello and welcome. Right now we're going to be designing our Chinese vase by cutting out the shape that we need for our artwork today. Now you have a choice. You can have the vase standing very tall or have a wider vase. If you're doing a wider vase, you're going to fold it with the length of the paper that is wide, and you'll be cutting it out this way. If you would like a taller vase, you'll be having it standing tall and folding it this way. I think I'm going to design a wider vase today, so I'm going to fold it in half, and along this fold I'm going to be drawing out with my pencil, but I'll use a marker to show you, a vase shape. Okay, so we think of a vase being rounded, has a little bit of a lip opening at the top. Okay, so I think I'm going to go across, and again, think of this line like the center of your vase, so anything you do, it's one half of the vase. I'm going out from the center. I'm going to go back to make my lip part of my vase, and then I think I'm going to make a wide vase bottom towards this end, or the bottom of my vase. Okay, so think about this as half of a vase, and the fold is in the middle. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. So using my scissors, I'm going to very carefully cut out my vase with my scissors. Okay, now you know that you've done it the right way. When you're done, when you open it up, it should be a vase that is symmetrical on either side. So there's my vase. Okay, I'm going to take my paper now. I'm going to make sure that my name is at the bottom. Again, you'll be doing this with your pencil. My name at the bottom. I want to use a marker just to show you. And I'm going to put my vase at the bottom of my paper. Okay, so I'm going to take my glue right now. Make sure it's all glued all the way at the edges. Okay. And I am going to very carefully glue down my vase. I want to make sure that it's kind of centered, mostly in the center. Alright, and have it right there at the bottom of my paper. Now, as we saw in our PowerPoint presentations, we're going to be making a white and blue vase. So on your table, you should have a thinner paintbrush, you should have water, and then a palette. And on that palette, you will have some blue paint. Okay, I'm going to be dipping my brush into that blue on the edge, and now is my time to create my design. You could create, maybe you want to use your paintbrush very thin, and then think of a pattern that you wanted to have on your vase. I think I'm going to have a pattern of some flowers. So again, I'm using the very tip of my brush to very gently make lines with my brush, and I'm making the spacing in between my flowers very even. Okay, notice when I get to the edge of my vase, I'm only doing half of a flower because I'm thinking about that flower going off the edge right there, and I'm making a pattern that's very consistent, very even in the spacing, and using the tip of my brush to create almost like a line. So each of my flowers has 4 petals. So I want to make sure that that's also consistent. We're doing 4 petals. Now look, I got a little bit close on that one. So maybe I'll pretend like one of the petals is going up here. You just kind of have to figure it out as you go. Take your time and use that brush, like I said, like a line, like a pencil line. So I'm being very delicate in the way that I handle the brush. I want to fit a couple more flowers here. It's going to look really pretty like a decorative vase is what I want it to look like. Okay, now for this lip part here where I put that line, I think I'm going to do some lines up here to show a decoration. Again, very, very light touch. And then I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to just swirl some lines in between those flowers. These vases that they do in China are very decorative. You've probably seen them at the store. Maybe you have one at home. But it's a blue and white porcelain. And it tends to have a lot of details and a lot of decoration on it. So I'm just using the edge of my brush to create those lines and details in between my flowers. Wow, I really like the way that's turned out. So my vase part is done on my picture. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to wash my brush. And I'm going to use the green paints that we have. And I'm going to actually be creating a couple of tones or sets of stems coming up and out of my vase. So I'm going to dip it into the green and start with the regular green color. And just start adding different stems for my flowers that are going to be coming out of my vase. Look at how I'm doing different lengths. Okay, once I've done the regular green, I'm going to go ahead and kind of mix on my own paper that I have set aside. You'll probably have a yellow paper, but I'll use this. And I'm making like a lighter green. So I just did a touch of the regular green with a touch of the white from the edge, and I'm making a tiny puddle. Now the more I spread out this paint, the more it wastes, so I don't want to do that. I just want to use a little bit just to make some lines of my stems. Okay, just a little bit of lines. So what I'm doing is I'm creating the places for my flowers to be growing on my paper. And finally I'm doing one more set of the dark, just in some of these spaces that I see. Okay. This is actually all we're going to complete today. This is our first part of our project. And then next time we're going to be adding our beautiful sets of flowers to it, all above. Notice I kept everything up in this area above my vase. This is how it looks today. And next time we'll be adding in those flowers on our next part.